Well, hello, Punk for the Homeless. Uh, this is Bruce Wright from the other side of the pond over in Tennessee, actually, in the United States, in the land of the Orange Cheeto dictator, the Orange Julius Caesar himself, Trump. And we're doing everything we can to fight against tyranny and fascism. And I'm just glad to be a part of this whole event. Have to pardon all the background noise. It's just a lot of stuff going on. But I'm so glad to be here. I'm with Refuge Ministries International, as well as Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign. And it's kind of an international effort around poverty and homelessness. And that's what we're here to fight about. So I'm going to start off with this song called Rich Man's House. You may have heard of it, I don't know, but it's a pretty good song. Well, I went down to the rich man's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity. While he's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. Well, I went down to the president's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity. Well, he's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. Well, I went down to the landlord's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my humanity. Took back my dignity. Well, he's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. Well, I went down to the Congress House and I took back what they stole from me. I took back my dignity. Took back my humanity. Well, they're under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. Well, I went down to the landlord's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity. Well, he's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. One more, one more. Well, I went down to the corporate house and I took back what they stole from me. I took back my dignity. Took back my humanity. Well, he's under my feet. They're under my feet. They're under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. Yeah, it's called The Rich Man's House. It's based on an old gospel song. Speaking of an old gospel song done a different way, you might be familiar with this one. At least the tune anyway, and I'm sure you're familiar with the lyrics, but the lyrics are usually sung into a different tune. So here we go. just did that grace appear. The hour I first believed. You know, all over the world, street children are struggling, and Punk for the Homeless has been there to help. And I urge everyone who's listening, you guys have been so generous to so many support and outreach things of Punk for the Homeless, that you give whatever you can, because there's a suffering world out there of children that just need your help. Well, this next one, I've kind of, there's words to it, but I've added additional words, so. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and a lot of things are done in the name of God, and it's despicable how evangelicals and so-called Christians misuse the gospel to cause harm and judgment and pain to those who are suffering, and judging those who are different. And that's why we have to be humble. Send justice in the name of our Lord. We send justice in the name of our Lord. And war and pain must cease. And war and pain must cease. Now, providing my battery holds out, I'm going to try to do some poems now. I'm kind of known for doing poems. I couldn't find my poems that I had in my books. I don't remember my poems, so I have them in my books or on this very phone I'm broadcasting from. So I'm using an old phone, and I'm hoping that these two poems that I'm going to end with will speak to what's going on in the world and maybe draw us to a new kind of conclusion and way of thinking. Because I find that the biggest problem in the world is that we can't seem to find a way to get together and solve the pain that exists out there in the world. We can't find a way to come together as a community, as a beloved community, as Dr. King spoke of it, to solve the suffering and pain of the world. So this is just a couple of my poems real quick, and I think that hopefully they'll speak to you. They, of course, have spoken to me through the years as I've had the opportunity to share them. And again, I want to remind people how important it is to be involved in this cause. This is not just, something that is a passerby kind of thing. It is a passion for Punk for the Homeless. And it is a passion for Gary and Rachel and Alex and all the crew involved. And it's a pleasure to know these guys and to work with them. This one's called Empire Collapsing. And it goes like this. Empire collapsing before our eyes as those in power denies the reality of the greed and brutality of a structure so cruel. Do they think they'll fool us anymore as the corporate horse shows their true identity, its profanity laid bare for all to behold? So bold in its contempt for the masses while they divide the classes and oppressed who are dispossessed by an economy exalting autonomy, where community is despised by the plans that are devised to amass their wealth, thinking they're stealth in what they do. But the people are rising. They are through. They know now what to do. This virus has been exposed, that the empire has no clothes, that the emperor has no clothes, that what power tries to impose is no longer able to contain. It's plain to see that the pandemic shows that the epidemic is capitalism. It is capitalism that kills as it fills the body bags, as it gags the victims now dying, as the lying are no longer denying the truth, that greed can no longer hold back the need for class unity, that we will take down with impunity the powers from the White House to Wall Street, that people will defeat their vanity for the sake of all humanity. The disenfranchised will rise up and disrupt the machine and end this obscene desire to conspire against nature. They can no longer hold us back. It is now fact that the powerful are now afraid of what we can now be and what they can be made by a society that no longer allows the impropriety of a fake piety of the self-made man. That plan has failed, derailed by a natural disaster, causing the end to come faster. We must make the choice to let our voice be heard, to end the absurd concept that endless growth is possible, that empire has no end. It cannot defend or pretend it is inevitable, that they will not be defeated. They are now unseated, and our resources no longer depleted because our resources are depleted. Empire is falling, no longer stalling or installing a limitless future. A new way is emerging as the people are surging. Empire is falling. Empire is falling. Thank you. I got one more here that is a little bit more, I guess, positive. I'm not always known for my most positive kinds of writings, but this one's called Life Breaks Out. Life breaks out from the concrete with its discreet voice, a choice of the birds as it sings, it rings as it abounds. Sounds that resound and is out being everything we are seeing. Nature is pleading with humanity to end the profanity of pain and destruction. We're given an instruction to feel the spring, to let it sing and sink in without and within. With chaos everywhere, and though life is unfair, we must all care and bear the suffering of our planet we too often take for granted. Planted in the soil of the city is the life that is pretty. It is truly a pity that we too often miss nature's kiss of life in the midst of great strife. It grows and it grows and it flows in ways it knows. It sows another way to say to humanity, end the insanity of hate and our fate before it's too late. Just sit and wait in a moment, to pause and to reflect, to let it intersect in our hearts and mind, to find a way to be kind to one another, sister and brother. Life breaks through. Life breaks through. Well, I think I have time for one more. So here's another one, kind of a little bit sarcastic. Are you kidding me? Bloomberg, the racist, misogynist billionaire, it's so unfair that you are attacked by the fact that you are exposed for your sin. It's unfair because you want to win. They pin these things you've done in the past, thinking it won't last as you're cost by your words, your defense so absurd. You just want to be heard. But what does that say? Who you betray, you really are, and though you think you come far, buying your way into an election, thinking you're the selection because of your cash, your stash. Money made on the backs of the worker, who you shirker refuse to acknowledge, but just use and abuse all those you made rich, you son of a bitch. You expect us to switch to you in some rich man's coup to steal from democracy to support the plutocracy of the rich as you dig a ditch and create the hole, hoping we will see our soul to the sell our soul to the highest bidder via words on Twitter, while we're taken to the shitter and expected to stand by. It doesn't fly with us, you see, because our minds are free and can't be bought. This struggle is fought on the street. We won't give to defeat and follow your vain conceit. We won't give to defeat and follow your vain conceit, because we know we can stand, we can rise, we can no longer despise, and be wise and fight and take down the emperor that has no clothes. And see that your plea falls on deaf ears, as we don't give in to your fears, because we have ears to hear, and we are woke, though we may be broke. We stoke the flames of resistance with a persistence that will lay bare that the emperor has no clothes. Now exposed, you go down as a bad memory. Well, I'm not sure how much time I have left, but I'm really, really glad that I had this opportunity to share with you guys. And please get online on Punk for the Homeless and give to Compass Children's Charity. Thank you again to everyone performing in this event. And peace, God bless, take resistance to the street, fight Mr. Boris Johnson. Or every time I hear Boris, I think of Boris and Natasha, from Bullwinkle. I don't know, you guys might not know that cartoon, but stand up and fight against the tyranny of people like Boris and Bolsonaro and, yes, Trump. Thank you.